Senator Norm Ornstein at AEI.
I've enjoyed dueling you, Norm, over the years. You've been consistently wrong on almost everything. And I've always wondered, who eats lunch with you over here at this organization?
I got more friends than you think here, Senator. And
actually, some of the worst things that have been said about me over the years have been said by Norm Ornstein. And you've been entirely wrong on virtually every occasion. I'm glad to see you. What's on your mind?
Okay. One thing we agree on: some of the worst things that have been said about me have been said by you. So
no, I was just quoting what you said. I didn't make anything up. I was just quoting you directly.
I have a couple of questions for you, Senator. The first is, in 2000, on Meet the Press, you gave a full-throated and eloquent defense of disclosure, the money quote being, "Why is a little disclosure better than a lot of disclosure?" Mm-hmm. In the Citizens United decision, we had justices, 8 justices, including Roberts, Scalia, and Alito, all give an equally full-throated defense of disclosure of all sorts, including explicitly to shareholders to know what their companies were doing on the political front. Why is...
of course, that's not accurate, but they didn't say as a matter of the constitutional interpretation. I'm sure that if we passed a statute, they probably wouldn't strike it down, but that was left to us. With regard to disclosure, you'd have to go back to the 1980s to find the time when I suggested, and I did, and I was wrong about it, and I've been correct for 25 years now. I don't know how far back you have to go. You have to go back to the 1980s to find the time that I suggested that disclosure of 501(4)s was a good idea. I made a mistake. I'm wrong. I've been consistent for 25 years. The Supreme Court left that up to Congress to decide, and the Democrats would try to pass a Disclose Act so they could get their hands on the names of our critics, and we're going to make that very difficult for them.
Let me ask you just one more question then on 501(c)s. The law explicitly says that 501(c)(4)s are supposed to be exclusively social welfare organizations. Do you believe that Organizing for America and American Crossroads GPS are exclusively social welfare organizations?
The interpretation that the IRS has had, I think, going back 40 or 50 years, the interpretation that they have had, I agree with. And let me tell you what Norm is really for. What he's really for is the government telling candidates for Congress how much they can spend, government-mandated spending limits, and using tax money to pay for it. If Norm had his way, he would push the private sector all the way out of the process of getting elected. You would file, the government would tell you how much you could speak, how much you could spend, the government would give you the money to pay for your speech. A total government takeover of the whole process from the time you file to the time you're sworn in. And of course, what kind of Congress is that likely to produce? The kind that wants to grow the government, because the government would be in charge of how they got there. So make no mistake about it, Norm is a good old-fashioned far-left guy. I like him. He's fine. He's been wrong for as long as I can remember. And it's great to see you here. I've been wanting to spar with you for years.